Book 5. 1. In the morning, when you find yourself unwilling to rise, have this thought at hand: I am waking up to do the work of a human being. Why should I complain about setting out to do the very thing I was born to do, the work I was brought into the world for? Was I designed to just lie under the blankets and stay warm? But you say, it is more pleasant this way. Is pleasure the purpose of your existence? Are you not here to act, to exercise your abilities? Look at the plants, the little sparrows, the ants, the spiders, and the bees. They are all doing their part. They are all working to keep the universe in order, as best they can. Will you refuse to do the part assigned to you? Will you refuse to follow the path of your own nature? You say, I must rest. Of course, but nature sets limits for rest, just as it does for eating and drinking. You go beyond these limits when you rest. You go beyond what is necessary. But when it comes to action, you fall short. You remain well within your limits. You do not truly love yourself. If you did, you would love your nature and its purpose. Others who love their craft wear themselves out working at it, going without baths or food. But you respect your own nature less than the woodcarver respects his carving. You respect it less than the dancer respects their dancing, the miser his gold, or the vain man his empty fame. When these people are driven by their passion, they gladly give up food and sleep to achieve their goals. Should working for the common good seem any less important to you? Should it be worthy of any less dedication? 2. How easy it is to brush aside and erase every disturbing and inappropriate thought, and instantly find perfect peace. 3. Do not judge any word or action as beneath you if it is in harmony with nature. Do not let the criticism or disapproval of others stop you. If an action or word is honorable, consider yourself worthy to do it or say it. Those who criticize you have their own conscience and their own motives. Do not pay attention to them. Instead, keep to a straight path. Let your own nature and the nature of the universe guide you. They both point in the same direction. For I walk the path of nature until I fall and finally find rest. I will breathe out my last breath into the air I breathed every day. I will fall onto the earth where my father got his seed, my mother her blood, and my nurse the milk that fed me. This earth has given me my daily food and drink through all these years. It supports my footsteps, and it puts up with me, even though I abuse it in so many ways. 5. People cannot admire you for your sharp mind. So be it. But there are many other qualities you cannot dismiss by saying, I just don't have it in me. Display those qualities instead, because they are entirely within your control. Be sincere. Be dignified. Be hardworking. Reject pure pleasure. Do not complain about your fate. Be content with little. Be kind and direct. Avoid exaggeration and empty talk. Strive for greatness. Do you see how many virtues you could show right now? You fall short of them, but you cannot claim you lack the ability or are unfit for them. Does a lack of natural talent force you to complain, to be stingy, or to flatter others? Does it make you blame your body for your own faults, cringe before others, show off, or let your mind race restlessly? No, by the gods. You could have escaped these bad habits long ago. If you have any fault, it is simply that you are a bit slow and dull to understand things. You should work hard to fix this. Do not ignore your dullness, and definitely do not take a strange pride in it. 6. When some people do you a favor, they are quick to count it as a debt you owe them. Others are less obvious about it, but in their minds, they still see you as their debtor. They know exactly what their favor was worth. A third type of person seems completely unaware of what they have done. They are like a vine that produces grapes and is perfectly satisfied once it has yielded its fruit. A horse that has run its race, a dog that has tracked its prey, a bee that has made its honey, and a person who has done a good deed do not shout about it. They simply move on to the next task, just as the vine prepares to produce new grapes in the next season. You might ask, should we then be like those who do not even realize what they are doing? Yes, exactly. But wait, you say, this requires intelligence. An unselfish person must know they are acting unselfishly, and surely they want their neighbors to know it too. That is true, but you are misunderstanding my point. If you think like that, you will just join the group I mentioned first. Those people are misled by arguments that sound good but are actually flawed. If you truly want to understand what my rule means, do not worry that following it will make you forget how to be unselfish. 7. The Athenians have a simple prayer: rain, rain, dear Zeus, on the plains and fields of the Athenians. We should either not pray at all, or pray in this honest and simple way. 8. We often hear that a doctor has prescribed horseback riding, cold baths, or walking barefoot for someone. In the same way, the guiding mind of the universe prescribes disease, injury, loss, or similar hardships for us. For the patient, prescribed means the treatment was ordered to match their health needs. For us, it means our fortune is designed to match the goals of destiny. The word coincidence itself implies things fitting perfectly together, like the squared stones a builder fits into a wall or pyramid. Everything is united in one harmonious bond. Just as all physical bodies combine to create the visible world, destiny combines every individual event to create one grand cause. Even people who do not study philosophy understand this. They say, fate gave this to him. This was assigned or prescribed for him. Let us accept the decrees of fate just as we accept a doctor's prescriptions. The doctor prescribes many tough medicines, but we take them willingly, hoping to get better. Think of nature doing its work and fulfilling its goals as its own version of health. Welcome everything that happens, even if it seems like a bitter pill, because it contributes to the health of the universe and the success of the divine plan. The universe would not have brought this hardship upon you if it did not serve the greater good. Nothing in nature happens without fitting into its overall government. You should be satisfied with whatever happens to you for two reasons. First, it was created for you, ordained for you, and woven into your destiny from the very beginning. Second, what happens to each person helps the mind that governs the universe thrive and endure. If you break this continuous chain of events or causes in any way, you damage the whole system. When you complain about your fate, you are doing your best to break and destroy that chain. 9. Do not get frustrated, depressed, or discouraged if you fail to always act perfectly according to your principles. If you get knocked down, get right back up and try again. Be satisfied if your actions are generally worthy of a good person. Love the philosophy you are returning to. Do not go back to philosophy as a student dreading a strict teacher. Go back to it like someone with sore eyes reaching for a soothing sponge and egg, or someone seeking a healing bandage or warm compress. This way, you are not just putting on a show of obeying reason, but actually finding rest in it. Remember that philosophy only asks of you what your own nature demands. You are the one who wants things that conflict with your nature. You might ask, but what is more enjoyable than those things? That is exactly the trap that pleasure sets for us. Think about it. Are greatness of mind, honesty, simplicity, kindness, and devotion not far more delightful? What is sweeter than wisdom itself, when you know your mind and reason are secure and working flawlessly? 10. The true nature of things is so hidden from us that many great philosophers find everything completely impossible to understand. Even the Stoics admit that certain knowledge is incredibly difficult to achieve. Every conclusion we draw is unreliable, for where can you find a person who never changes their mind? Look at the things we seek to know. They are fleeting and meaningless. They often end up in the hands of the corrupt, the dishonest, or the thief. Now look at the morals of the people around you. It is hard enough to tolerate the most polite of them, let alone tolerate yourself. In a world full of darkness and dirt, where matter, time, motion, and the things moving are in a constant state of flux, I see nothing worth admiring or desiring. Instead, we should find comfort as we wait for our natural end. We must not let the delay frustrate us. We should find peace in two thoughts. First, nothing can happen to me that does not follow the nature of the universe. Second, I always have the power to refuse to act against the divine spirit within me. No one can force me to betray it. 11. What am I using my soul for? I must ask myself this question constantly. I need to examine what is happening right now in the part of me that leads all the rest. I must ask myself, whose soul do I have right now? Is it the soul of a child? A teenager? A frightened woman? A tyrant? Is it the soul of a tame animal or a wild beast? 12. You can judge the true value of what most people call good by looking at it this way. If a person truly believes that wisdom, self-control, justice, and courage are good, they cannot laugh at the old joke about having too many good things. The joke just does not make sense to them. But if a person only values what the crowd considers good, they will gladly laugh at that joke from the comic poet and think it is perfectly fitting. Even ordinary people see the difference here. If they did not, we would not reject the joke in the first case, and we would not celebrate it as a clever punchline when it comes to wealth, luxury, and showing off. So, ask yourself whether we should really value and esteem these popular things. Should we prize the kind of things that make us say, "He has so much stuff he does not even have a place to go to the bathroom"? 13. I am made of both spirit and matter. Neither of these will die and fade into absolute nothingness, just as neither came into being from nothing. Every part of me will simply change and be rearranged into some other part of the universe. That new part will change into something else, and this will go on forever. Through this kind of change, I came into existence, just like my parents, stretching back through all of time. There is no logical problem with this idea, even if the universe operates in fixed, repeating cycles. 14. Reason and the art of thinking are tools that are complete on their own. They start from their own internal principles and move straight to their intended goals. These mental processes are called right or direct actions, because they follow a straight, unbroken path of thought. 15. We should not consider anything a part of a person if it does not belong to human nature. If it is not essential to who we are, we cannot demand it, and it has no role in fulfilling our purpose. Therefore, those extra things do not define our ultimate goal, nor do they bring us true goodness. Furthermore, if these things were truly essential, it would be wrong to reject them or fight against them. A person who proved they did not need them would not be praiseworthy. If these non-essential things were actually good, a person who chose to live without them could not be a good person. But in reality, we see that the more a person goes without these things and patiently endures lacking them, the better they truly are. 16. Your mind will become like the thoughts you have most often. The soul takes on the color of its thoughts. So, soak your mind in thoughts like this: wherever a person can live, they can live well. A person can live in a royal court, therefore they can live well in a royal court. Remember that everything moves toward the purpose it was created for, and its purpose is its final goal. In that final goal lies its true benefit and its good. For beings with reason, living in society is our highest good. It was proven long ago that we were brought into the world to be social creatures. Is it not obvious that lower forms of life were made for higher forms, and higher forms were made for each other? Living things are higher than lifeless things, and creatures with reason are higher than those that merely live. 17. Chasing the impossible is madness. It is completely impossible for bad people to not act badly. 18. Nothing happens to any person that nature has not equipped them to handle. The exact same things happen to others. Sometimes, because they do not realize what happened or because they want to show off their bravery, they stand firm and remain completely unhurt. It is absurd that ignorance or vanity should have more power than wisdom. 19. Material things cannot touch the soul at all. They have no access to it, and they cannot bend or move it. The soul bends and moves itself. Whatever judgment the soul makes inside, it molds the outside events to match that judgment. 20. In one sense, humanity is my closest and dearest connection. I must do good for others and be patient with them. But when certain people block my natural duties, they become no different to me than the sun, the wind, or a wild beast. They might stop a specific action, but they cannot interfere with my core purpose or my mindset. Thanks to my ability to adapt and change course, my mind can take any obstacle and turn it into fuel for its own work. A hindrance becomes a help, and the roadblock actually paves the way forward. 21. Honor the highest power in the universe. That power is what uses everything and governs everything. In the same way, honor the highest power within yourself. It shares the same nature as the universal power. It is the part of you that directs everything else you do and manages your entire life. 22. what does not harm the city cannot harm the citizen. Apply this rule whenever you feel like you have been hurt. If the community is not injured by this event, then I am not harmed either. If the community is hurt, we still should not be angry with the person who caused the harm. Instead, we should ask, where did they go wrong? 23. Frequently think about how fast things are swept past us and disappear, whether they already exist or are just coming into the world. Substance is like a river flowing endlessly. Actions change constantly, and the causes behind them shift thousands of times. Almost nothing stands still. We are flanked by the massive eternities of the past and the future, which swallow up everything. Is a person not a fool, then, if they get puffed up with success in this world? Or if they get distracted and stressed, acting as if their troubles will last a long time? 24. Keep the entire universe of matter in mind, and remember how tiny your share of it is. Think of the entirety of time, and remember the brief, fleeting moment assigned to you. Consider the destiny of all things, and recognize how incredibly small your part is within it. 25. Does someone else wrong me? That is their problem. Their character and actions belong to them. Right now, I possess what nature gives me, and I do what my own nature tells me to do. 26. Keep the guiding and ruling part of your soul unaffected by the stirrings of your body, whether those feelings are pleasant or painful. Do not let the soul mix with the flesh. Keep it separate, and restrict physical passions to the body where they belong. If physical feelings rise into the mind because of the natural connection between body and soul, do not try to fight the physical sensation itself. It is simply part of nature. However, your ruling center must not add its own judgment, calling the sensation good or bad. 27. Live with the gods. A person lives with the gods when they constantly show them a soul that is satisfied with its fate, and when they do the will of the inner spirit. This inner spirit is a piece of divinity that Zeus gives to everyone as a leader and guide. It is the intelligence and reason that lives inside us all. 28. Are you angry with someone who smells bad or has terrible breath? What good will that do? Their mouth or armpits are just like that, and the smell is the inevitable result. You say, but they are a rational human being. If they paid attention, they could figure out what they're doing wrong. Fair enough. You also have reason. Use your reason to awaken theirs. Teach them, warn them. If they listen, you will fix the problem, and there will be no need for anger. You are not putting on a dramatic play, and you are not playing the role of a cheap performer. 29. You can live right now the exact way you plan to live when your time on earth is up. If people will not let you live that way, then it is time to leave this life. Even then, you should leave feeling like no actual disaster has struck. If a room gets too smoky, I step outside. Why make a big deal out of it? As long as nothing forces me out, I will stay because I want to, and no one can stop me from doing what I decide. My decision is simply the will of a rational, social being. 30. The intelligence of the universe is deeply social. Therefore, it created lower forms of life to serve the higher ones, and it designed the higher beings to work together. Look at how it has ranked, organized, and distributed everything according to its true value. It has brought the nobler creatures together in mutual agreement and harmony. 31. How have you treated the gods, your parents, siblings, spouse, children, teachers, caregivers, friends, close companions, and slaves? Can you honestly say that you have lived by the rule, he did no cruelty, spoke no bitter word? Think back on everything you have been through and everything you have had the strength to endure. Your life is a complete story, and your service is over. Remember the beautiful things you have seen. Think of the pleasures and pains you have ignored, the fame you have walked away from, and the unkind people you have treated with kindness. 32. Why do ignorant and untrained minds bother those who are skilled and intelligent? What exactly makes a soul skilled and intelligent? It is knowing the beginning and the end of all things. It is understanding the reason that runs through everything and governs the universe in fixed cycles for all of time. 33. Soon you will be nothing but ashes, dry bones, and a name. Or maybe not even a name. A name is just an empty sound and an echo. The things we prize so much in life are hollow, petty, and decaying. We are like puppies snapping at each other, or children who fight, laugh, and then suddenly burst into tears. But integrity, modesty, justice, and truth have flown straight from the wide earth up to heaven. So, what is keeping you here? The things we can sense are unstable and constantly changing. Our senses are dull and easily fooled. The poor soul itself is just a vapor made of blood. Fame in a world like this is absolutely worthless. What should you do? Wait calmly to be extinguished or transformed, whatever happens. And until that time comes, what is enough for you? Nothing else but to spend your life respecting and praising the gods, while treating people with kindness, tolerance, and patience. As for everything outside the boundaries of your own body and breath, remember that it does not belong to you and is not under your control. 34. You can have a prosperous life if you simply take the right path and stick to it in everything you think and do. There are two advantages shared by gods, humans, and every rational soul. First, nothing on the outside has the power to hold them back. Second, their true happiness comes from aligning their mind and actions with justice and making that the end of all their desires. 35. If a mistake is not my fault, nor the result of a bad choice I made, and if the community is not harmed, why should I be upset about it? How does it hurt the common good? 36. Do not get swept away by careless emotions. Help anyone who needs it as best you can and according to what they deserve. If they need something trivial, do not think they have actually been harmed, because thinking that way is a bad habit. Think of the old man in the comedy play who begs for his foster child's spinning top as a keepsake, even though he knows perfectly well it is just a toy. You should handle the events of life in exactly the same way. You stand at the speaker's platform and shout, "Man, have you forgotten the real value of what you are chasing?" You say, "No, I haven't forgotten, but the crowd wants it so badly." Does that mean you have to be a fool just because they are? Wherever I find myself left, I could always make my own fortune. Making a fortune simply means giving good things to yourself. True wealth means having a worthy mindset, worthy impulses, and worthy actions.